Think 6.5 comes back for a V3. Let's see how it holds up in 2023. The iconic Think 6.5 is a super soft spot in my heart, as I had 3 Think V1s as my second ever keyboard that I have ever built in the early days of this hobby. I've always appreciated Graystudio's touch on case design with a flair of RGB as an accent for color customization. Graystudio has been constantly innovating in different mounting styles, case designs, materials, while keeping the original design in mind but staying true to the V1 boards we all love. I received this unit before a lot of details have been ironed out, so if you need further information, I'll leave a link below to the Graystudio Discord and website. Think 6.5 V3 group buy starts sometime in April. Date is TBD. Format is unlimited, so everyone will get a chance at grabbing one of these and should start fulfilling 6 months after GB ends, but do mind there can be some delays. The keyboard will come in at $385 with a solder PCB and can cost up to $415 depending which PCB or case finish you choose. The foams, plate, and PCB come in a really nice see-through plastic box, which includes a plate, in this case FR4, with a good amount of flex cuts that are connected in some areas that should help maintain a firmer flex. Tape for the tape mod that's already pre-cut, as well as tape for the flex cuts on the PCB. Very nice touch from Graystudio. You also get an assortment of foams: pour-on plate foam, silicone case foam, PE, PCB foam, and ESD insulation foam so that the PCB doesn't short out. With this unit, I received the hot swap PCB that has a lot of flex cuts in it, and I really like the subtle gray color to this. The PCB will also be optional for no flex cuts, and both PCBs will be 1.2 millimeters thick. This time, the Think comes with a daughter board with heat shrink around the JST cable, 2 versions of gasket options, gasket socks that can be mounted in 2 orientations, the long portion on the bottom or the top, changing the typing experience. Long portion on the top would give you the typing experience to be more forgiving, allowing the plates to travel, and the other way less amount of flex and gasket jackets, leaving a firmer typing experience with minimal flex but still great gasket isolation. Shims for stabilizers that need help clipping into the 1.2mm PCB. Durock stabs or Alab stabs for my testing have no problem without the shims and fit snug. Case feet that come in either black or white. On the board itself, the design is fairly close to the V2 that has a 2U badge, but with some changes I really like. The Think badge design is simplistic and minimal while holding the original 2U design and taking some inspiration of the 2 RGB lines from the V2. The case has beautiful smooth chamfering all around the top case and bottom portion around the weight. Elegant side curves with a top case that hides a 2-piece design flawlessly. The front of the case carries a sleek undercut and the top case showing off the bottom. There is no recessed USB port, but the daughter board sits back further into the case, allowing the metal from the cable to be hidden. As we turn the keyboard over to the beautiful bottom case design, you can begin to appreciate all the lines and curves in the bottom piece, with smooth round corners and chamfering recesses showing off the gold PVD weight. The cutout really allows the Think logo to really pop with the cream case color. I also really like the subtle Graystudio's logo that blends nicely into the weight. The innovation here doesn't hurt the design but carries this board into the next chapter and keeping it relevant in time, which I really appreciate. The case mounts together similar to what we have seen lately from a few other keyboards like the Vega or the Arc 60, with tabs in the top case that fit in between switches, allowing for a sleek, screwless design. To also help with the building experience, Graystudio includes a toolbox with a nice screwdriver, tweezers to help you test out the PCB before assembly, a magnetizer to magnetize the bits provided, as well as extra case screws. Okay, enough of the specs and me fanboying over this keyboard. I know, I'm really sorry. We all want to know how this sounds and feels, so for the build I went with the S2 V2 Snow Tactile switches from Keycaps, featuring a long pole palm stem that should really help this board pop. We did some experimenting on the Twitch build stream, and from what I thought it sounded best was these options. Gasket socks with a long portion on the top to allow a more forgiving, bouncy typing experience. Tape mod that was provided just for the flex cuts. I felt it sounded a little flat and neutral even with the long pole switches because of the flex cuts. I also removed the 2 case screws near the space bar to allow it to breathe a little bit. This usually helps with a little more alive, poppy sound, while taking away some of the harsh bottom out feeling, and this configuration with no foams was my favorite. If you like the content here and would like to see more, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Hopefully I see you in the next one. Peace.